Christmas, everybody. I hope everybody. Yeah, I really hope everybody has enjoyed their Christmas. Let me put these back on. I was having some technical difficulties, so I hope everybody can hear me. Can you hear me? Give me a hand clap. Yeah, I'm sure I'm old bald head today, man, and yeah, I'm just on vacation, enjoying my time off with the family and my friends, being able to get out and visit family and friends throughout my time off before I go back to work. Hey man, I'm working on retirement for real. But yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody out there, man. I hope everything's been great for you and your family. But here we are, talking Dallas Cowboys talk. Yeah, Cowboys win 30 to 23. Give it up. Now we're gonna do a quick recap. I'm not gonna stay on this long because we got a topic that we really need to talk about, which you see the title Smith Switch, Elite Scheme Fit, or Guidance Costly Consequence. Yeah, we need to get into that, man, because Tyler Smith made a comment in a post game, or I don't know if it was post game, but he was asked a question about the switch. So we're gonna get into that. But let's get into this real quick. I don't want to leave you guys, keep you guys long, but we're gonna talk about a game that actually didn't mean anything, in my opinion. Um, it is what it is. Final score: Cowboys 30, Washington 23. We are now at 7-8-1, and Washington is at 4-12. Well, listen, I know what Dan Quinn is doing. He's telling his team to fight, but at the same time, he's fighting for a draft pick, which you would think that would be something that we would be doing, but again, it's just kind of breathtaking watching Dak get sacked a couple of times throughout these last few games. Um, Again, like I say, the score was 30 to 23. Um, what we want to talk about? Let's get into some team stats real quick. So basically, first down, if now third down efficiency was 8 for 20. Mm-hmm. Uh, Fourth down efficiency 6 for 6. A lot of times we look like we went fourth down 6 times. Um, Again, man, I'm not going to get into this because it's two bad teams playing one another, and just my opinion, guys. I know you guys probably think something different, but the total yards, we have 480 total yards. Washington had 328 total yards. We had 269 yards passing today, 190. And again, we allowed this backup, Josh Johnson, to put up 23 points. You know, it is what it is. So our three. Let me get back to this here. Play by play. Our three touchdowns came in the first quarter. Well, one was in the first quarter. We got a touchdown. 13. We went 13 plays for 78 yards. Then we got another touchdown in the second quarter, which was 17 plays for 65 yards, and then we had a 5 plays for 97 yards, which gave us a score of 21 to 3. Okay. Second half, I don't know. This is 3 weeks in a row. We cannot seem to find the end zone. I know we continue to trash and talk about this defense, but again, we're talking about a 4-12 team, and for whatever reason, we go at halftime. We can't make adjustments. Look like we're being out coached in the second half. Other teams, our opponents, are going in and making adjustments and correcting their errors, but for whatever reason, we continue to stick to the script, I guess. I don't know, but this is the third week. Again, we've can't find the end zone. So we got found the end zone 3 times in the first half, but no, only 3 points in the third quarter, no points in the fourth. Let me see. Fourth quarter, we missed we missed a field goal. And then we made a field goal to make it 30 to 20. What was that? Yeah. And then, yeah. Then we kicked we end the game 30 to 23. Anyway, so again, what are we talking about here? Nothing. Absolutely nothing if you ask me. But I want to get into this before we get into the main topic that we are talking about, because I really want to talk about this Tyler Guyton, the Tyler switch, and also we're going to get into the possibility of a personnel change. Yeah, it could be a personnel change that may be coming at the end of the season as well. But I want to talk about this. I don't know if you guys saw it as we was watching the game. We know that George Pickens had a pretty decent game again. Not so much for CD Lamb. Now I don't know if you guys watched it, but I was watching CD. Is anybody talking about his body language? Is anybody talking about his behavior? Is anybody talking about every time that which there was some times that the ball didn't reach him, that there was a times it was overthrown, it was behind him. But did you notice his body language? Shaking his head, holding his head down, walking to the sideline like this. Anybody talking about that? Yeah, I know a lot of it doesn't have a lot to do with him uh, versus the passes thrown to him. But is anybody talking about that? His behavior, his body language, holding his head down. Every time a bad pass, he's shaking his head. But and I say that just to say because we want to always put a target on a particular person because of their past history or the antics in the past. And again, as one that has played a receiver position before, I understand what these guys are talking about. I truly understand. It's frustrating, but we only look at the afterthoughts. And again, when I talk about when a receiver is making a break or coming off the line and create separation from his defender and he's wide open and the ball's behind him over him. After so long, I mean, people think, well, this is your job. Yeah. But it continued. My job is to make plays. And when I'm able to put myself in position to make plays and the ball is underthrown, thrown behind me, or I'm not even getting the looks, yeah. And I'm not saying this to pick on CD Lamb, but I want you to know that this happens not only with George Pickens, but CD as well. This is the life as a receiver. We saw it with Dez Brown. We saw it with Amari Cooper. So we continue. So well, I wouldn't pay George Pickens nothing because of his antics. Well, I want to see how that works if we do not pay him. I want to see how that would work if we decide to put Ryan Flanoy as the number 2 receiver. And I know we talked about this before, but Ryan Flanoy is good. He is, but he's not proven yet. But we got a guy that has made his Pro Bowl since he's been here with the Cowboys. Again, you take away George Pickens. What happens? Basically, roll the double coverage back over to CD, and then you allow Flanoy do all the hard work. So we really need to think about that before we decide to say, "Hey, we don't want Pickens, or we'll franchise Pickens, and we'll get a better trade." What are we going to look for? We're going to look for another pass rusher. When we had a pass rusher, remember we got 3 for 1. 3 for 1. But we're gonna get into that as far as when we talk about the personnel changes that could be coming. But let's get into this. So it's been reported, and this is reported by the Dallas Cowboys public relations. It said prior to tomorrow's game at Washington, the Dallas Cowboys placed offensive tackle Tyler Guyton on reserve injury and signed DB Corey Ballantyne from the practice squad to active roster. The club also elevated linebacker Justin Barron from the practice squad. Now, congratulations to Corey and Justin, but at the same time, we have put Tyler Guyton on injury reserve. Now, it's also been reported that though Guyton was active for 15 games last season as a rookie, he started only 11 games, partially due to availability reasons. Now he's set to end the season with 7 games missed and similar concerns. And though his play improved significantly from year one, it wasn't good enough to overlook such concerns. That shows a little bit with the Cowboys' decision to move second team All-Pro left guard Tyler Smith to tackle for the final 3 games of the year, including including last week against the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, this was reported, and I got to give A to Z Sports. I'm give my credit where critics do. But definitely, this is a major concern, if you ask me. Um, I knew this was going to be a problem when we brought Tyler Guyton in from college as a recruit, as a draft pick. And I don't know who come up with the idea of saying that, hey, we can move this guy that has minimum experience at right tackle and we can move him to left tackle. And I've said this before we even drafted him. I said it when we did draft him. I said, good luck on how this turns out. And some people say, oh, it shouldn't be that hard. Again, if you've never played the game of football, it's easier said than done. And I know some of people say, oh, well, it's no way. It's just moving. No, there is a total difference in technique, total difference in your step, your stance, your hand placements. It's a lot. And a lot of people just think it's an easy switch. But I can't remember who it was. It was an individual, a former player that played for Kansas City. And he said it best. And this comes from him. And I can't remember who it was, but he was a former Kansas City left tackle. He said, man, that's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy to move from right tackle. And then, this individual only has limited experience at right tackle. If I'm not mistaken, he played tight end. So here we are. So with the injuries and the learning curve for Tyler Guyton, which hasn't been really, really in his favor, and we pray that, he gets better. But to say that Tyler Smith will finish out at the left tackle the last few games, or this last game, last games that he has started at, it brings a concern. And that's why we have to talk about the unseen reason why this is taking place. And we know about Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith is a great guy. He's a native from my city, North Crowley Panthers, right here in Crowley, Texas. Went on to Tulsa and finished out at Tulsa, and he was, drafted with the Cowboys as a tackle. Well, things took place, and they slid him inside because he had a history of holding penalties and things like that. So they decided to move him inside as the offensive guard, where he became a Pro Bowler. Yeah, give it up for Tyler. He became a Pro Bowler at this position, and so now he has basically cemented himself at this position at guard. But now things have taken a turn for him to move back to the left tackle position. And we have to question ourselves. Will Tyler Guyton get his job back next season, or will they look to move him back to right tackle or to compete at left tackle? But I really hope this is something that works out for Tyler Guyton, because Tyler Smith was quoted saying something. He said, well, and he basically said, I made Pro Bowl as a left guard, but I'm playing left tackle. And I'm just paraphrasing what he's saying, but what he's saying is my position is this left guard, but the type of guy I am, I'm willing to play this left tackle position. Nothing against neither one of these guys, but I know this is what Tyler Smith is saying. Tyler Smith is saying this, I made the Pro Bowl as a guard, but I'm willing to move to tackle for the rest of the season, but I would rather play where I got my accolades at, or at the position that I played the previous seasons. But Tyler, being the guy that he is, he's willing to, make the sacrifice to move that position, which he's been doing really pretty well. It's still an adjustment for him. I think he gave up one sack on yesterday, but it's expected, which they have moved TJ Bass to the left guard position, which he hadn't done real bad. And then we got Uh, Hoffman also as another backup that we have. So, I mean, we're maintaining, but at the same time, it's a adjustment for our offensive line. So, um, again, when we go to recap this game, there's not much to talk about, guys, but it's really not. Big kudos to Javante Turpin for catching that pass for 69 yards. And then again, if we can get Turpin in those type of positions to catch those type of balls, man, there's nobody on the field that can catch him. So it was good seeing that. So I guess the question is, what happens next week? Do the starters play next week? And I said that starters shouldn't been playing. They should have had been pulled out the game since the Chargers game. Was it the Chargers? At least the Chargers, and maybe the game before that, knowing that our season was pretty much down the drain. But we'll see what happens with that. But again, this is what we're talking about. Smith switch. Is it elite scheme fit or Guyton's costly consequence? And that's the question. And that has yet to be answered. It's frustrating, but I'm hoping that Tyler Guyton can get back in position to become solid at that tackle position and hold that position down to allow to allow Smith to fall back to his position, his original position that he's received his accolades. But it's something to see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, there's not much to talk about as we get prepared to take on the Giants next week. But I do want to get into this also. But you know what? No, before I go there, I wanted, and when we talk about this, I wanted to get into this quote that the statement that he made. Let me see if I can pull it up. Recap. So, dude, I mean, I understand, dude. It was a win. Dak threw for 307 yards and 2 touchdowns. But this is what Prescott said. It was huge, Prescott said. Not playing for anything. You want to get on top and not give them any hope. Let me say that again. It was huge, Prescott said. Not playing for anything. You want to get on top and not give them any hope. Well, the game is hopeless. The whole game is hopeless. Both you guys are at the playoffs. But, yeah, it's important. It's important to make them play from behind, but we've got to do a better job finishing. Also, as we reported, indeed, Commanders 4-12 cut the gap to a touchdown on 3 different occasions, but they could not complete the comeback and absorb their 10th loss in 11 games. We gave up 23 points to a 4-12 team. Again, I see what Quinn is doing. Quinn is playing for a draft pick, and we're playing for pride. Yeah, but that's what it is, and that was basically reported by who was that reported by? By AP out of Landover, Maryland. Anyway, so yeah, that's what Dak had to say. But again, dude, both teams are playing for absolutely nothing. But here we are. We're talking about we got to get on top of. We got to make a play from behind, and we couldn't find the end zone for the 3rd week in a row in the second half. We got problems. But in other news, let's get into this. It's a possibility that could be a personnel change. Okay. And I know you guys probably saying, well, yeah, we know defensive coordinator, but not only that, but man, we got to talk about the personnel change as far as players. So it's been reported also that the Cowboys did prioritize getting Clark back in the Parsons trade. Yet they also didn't know they'd be adding all-pro defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. Of course, the Cowboys also got 2 of the first-round picks back from the Packers in exchange for Parsons too, one of which later was sent to the New York Jets in exchange for Williams. Okay, So while Diggs and Clarks are both former Pro Bowl players, those cap savings could be spread around throughout the defense in an effort to improve a unit ranked 31st in points allowed. Wait. Clearly, the Cowboys have to try something different to shake up their defense. Now, this also was reported by Sports Now. Andrew Buller Russ, which reported this about 23 hours ago, and he has a good point there. Dallas could cut two pricey Pro Bowl defenders, and one could be Kenny Clark, and the other one could be Trayvon Diggs. I mean, it is what it is, people. And I know we brought Kenny Clark in thinking that was going to make a difference. But way this thing is set up, somebody's got to go. And right now, we know that Trayvon Diggs is on their naughty list for sure. And I don't think that's a situation with Kenny Clark, but they're going to have to free up some money because we have Brandon Aubrey we have to sign. We have George Pickens we have to sign. And we have Javonte Williams that we have to sign. Now, all we can do is wait and watch how they pull a rabbit out of their hat to make this happen. And for starters, they might have to consider doing something with Trayvon Diggs and doing something with Kenny Clark to free up some money. And not only that, you have to find your defensive coordinator. And personally, let me say this before I get out of here, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I think this defense just need a little tweaking. You have to find a scheme that fits the players you have on the field. What that means, you have to make some adjustment. Kenny Murray Jr. will probably be a free agent. This guy just continued to miss the gap. He continued to follow the other linebacker in the same gap. It's not working there, which will have overshown. I think Maurice Luafau should get a chance at those positions as well. So there's not much that we need to do. I know we're talking about Siobhan Revel as this outside corner. We can get Deron Bland back, and we just have to look at Donovan Wilson. Might be Donovan Wilson's last year with the team. So I just think you find the right defensive coordinator. You definitely have to put your ego aside. Find the right defensive coordinator that is going to be able to apply their scheme to the players that they have. Okay? This is what's going to have to happen. Somebody that's creative, somebody that's experienced, which we thought Eberflus was, but Eberflus defense is more of a bend and don't break type defense. And it's just when we're ranked 31st and giving up points. Hell, I don't know who the 32nd team is, but they gotta be the Jets. But yeah, so I think the offense, this is just my take, and I know you probably heard me say this before, and I think the offense is okay if we get the guys that we need. We got 3,000-yard players on this team, and we have to find a way to get all three of them on the same page, get three of them signed as forwards, also along with the kicker. We got to figure out this thing. I don't think it should be anything big and major. You do good in the draft. Look at your free agency, make the right moves, bringing you a good defensive coordinator. No, not Rex Ryan. Listen, guys, do a hashtag. No hit Rex Ryan's for the Dallas Cowboys defense. And we need to do a hashtag of Brian Flores as the Cowboys defensive coordinator. But not only that, but on the offense side of the ball, I'm going to say this here, which the play calling that Brian calls are pretty decent plays, But I think Brian gets caught up in calling plays and forget the situation of the game. So this is another small adjustment we make. I don't think we have to do anything big. Just work with the in-house. But again, focus on this offense as far as giving Clayton Adams the playbook, allowing Clayton Adams to call the plays while Shoddy manage the game and get you a decent, above average defensive coordinator to work with the guys that you have in place, and you put these pieces together. And I really truly think next year could be a great year for us. 2026 could definitely be a great season. Now, you heard this first from G, the number one Cowboy fan in Hampton. I'm telling you what needs to happen. Nothing major. Get the 3 guys that we need to get signed. Your quarterback, your running back, your kicker, and George Pickens. You got to find you a above average defensive coordinator. Hand the playbook over to Clayton Adams and allow Shoddy to manage the game. I guarantee we'll do a lot better than we've done this year. But okay, guys, that's all I have for today, man. This is just a recap. Let's get back to enjoying our weekend, and we basically will not be doing a live this week, but we'll be doing some shorts as far as on the YouTube channel, some couple of clips on the TikTok as well. It's called the Cowboys Huddle on TikTok. You can check out some of those videos over there as well. But again, like I say, Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy New Year. I ask that everybody be safe, continue to be blessed. And if you don't do anything else, continue to be kind because we need more of it. All right, it's your guy, G, the number one Cowboy fan, Hampton, and I'm out. Deuces.
Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. The Cowboys Huddle Podcast.